Sorry if my dogs bark because they like to bark.
Welcome to the Pit Life Barbecue Podcast. Join us around the pit as we talk all things barbecue. Now here is your host, Johnny Maggs.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Life Barbecue Podcast. Episode 415 coming to you live from the... I almost said it. From the Uncle Steve Shake Studios in Center Bonstead, New Hampshire. It's the podcast where we talk barbecue and a lot of other topics that you normally talk around the pit. Thank you all for tuning in. It has been a while. Thank you all and appreciate you all for, understanding me missing last week with JJ's 16th birthday and all that good stuff. But here we are. We're back at it. We are back. So let's go. Tonight's episode brought to you by Uncle Steve Shake. What can I say? America's favorite uncle. Steve, man, prides himself in his shakes. He wears all the hats. He's mixing the shake, bottling, labeling, packaging, shipping, answering the phone calls, answering the emails. He might reach out to you if he has a question about your order. Or are you trying to figure out, what shakes might be best for you? Give him a call. Send him a message. He'd love to sit down and talk to you for a little bit, figure out your flavor profiles with you and how to use them. And we're talking 19 amazing flavors. The original Gator Shake, thick meat, competition line, magic ribs, my personal favorite. Dessert shake, mi amigo, the list goes on and on. But Steve prides himself on quality and freshness. If you order today, your order is getting mixed within the next day or two, tops. It's never sitting around on a shelf somewhere, so it's the freshest it can be when it gets to your door. So check him out at UncleStevesShake.com. Follow along on Facebook at Uncle Steve Shake Nation. And remember, Uncle Steve Shake, shake some on everything. Also brought to you by Joe's Meat Market, the diamond of Roy City, Texas. Gabriel and his crew do an amazing job day in, day out. Always the top grade of proteins always available. If you're looking for something he doesn't have, he'll work with you to get it in. You need a specific cut, he's got you covered. Fresh produce brought in daily. And for all us backyarders and competition guys and gals, he's got us covered too. Multiple lines of seasonings, sauces, injections, marinades. The Joe's Meat Market house line, which I also believe is up to 19 different items in that. Also, official Nomad Grill dealer. So he's got the Nomad Grills, the Nomad Charcoal, the Nomad Fire Sticks, all one stop. Now also carrying Texas Oil Dust products and Aaron's Charcoal. The Texas Oil Dust Lump Charcoal available at Joe's. And while you're there, you feel a little hungry, he's got you covered too. Gabriel's mom's behind the counter, whipping up the freshest cuisine out there. So grab a plate, grab a bowl, sit down with the boys, talk barbecue, sports, anything. Just enjoy it, make a new friend. Like I said, if you're ever in the Royce City area, swing on by Joe's Meat Market. Tell Gabriel and the crew I sent you. And remember, folks, Joe's Meat Market for the win. And also brought to you by the Champions Barbecue Alliance. The 2006 Road to Barbecue Greatness runs through New England this season and beyond. The New England Triple Crown is back for year 2 and bringing the next battle for the belt buckle with it. Introducing the 2026 Uncle Steve's Shake New England Triple Crown, sanctioned by the Champions Barbecue Alliance. 3 competitions, 3 states, 1 champion. This isn't a one-weekend win. It's a season-long battle for consistency and barbecue fire. If you want the crown, you got to run the gauntlet. Seven Maple Showdown, which we had a couple weeks ago. The Vermont State Championship Vermont State Championship. My bad. You had a little couple changes here. The Rhode Island State Barbecue Championship in Rhode Island, and finishing up the third leg at Camp Harkness Beachside Smoke Showdown in Waterford, Connecticut. Ribs, pork, and brisket, jackpots, and unique opportunities included Loaded Bloody Mary, Future of Q, and Women's of Q events. This year is bound to be fire. Only one team will stand at the end, New England Triple Crown champion. Registration is open. Step up and show out, powered by Uncle Steve's Shake. All right. I know my man Daddy Dutch was first in, per usual, and there he is. Tom's Food Factory, what's happening? There should be a lottery each week. The winner gets a free T-shirt from Mag. Okay, Tom, you fund that one, baby, and I'll run it. What's up, brother? Matt Carpenter, what's happening, Matt? Jeff Costa, Waypoint Barbecue. Larry Vaughn, afternoon from South Jersey. Thank you all for tuning in. Folks, I'm excited about this evening. Got a wonderful gentleman joining us. Seasoning line and these wonderful little gems that I am enjoying so much. But we'll get into those. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen from LB's Barbecue and More, Mr. Aaron Carpenter. Aaron, what's up, brother?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
Oh, well, I'm doing good, brother. Got a little rain up here, but it's all right. It's all right. Cool.
We've been getting some rain down here, too, so it's...
Yeah, you guys have been kind of having the old New England weather. You know, you go to work Monday through Friday. It's, sunny and 80 and beautiful. But then come that Friday afternoon into the weekend, here comes the rain to screw up everything.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The boys have been talking about it. But, hey, we can't fight her. Mother Nature is still undefeated.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She comes when she wants to.
That's it. We take what she gives us, and we got to be happy about it in one way, shape, or form.
But Aaron, man, rain, so it's good.
Oh, for sure. But, man, thank you so much for taking the time to join me and talk about everything and get to know you a little bit. So for anybody, who's tuning in, tell us a little bit about you, what you do, family, pets, the whole 9 yards.
Yes, sir. I am Aaron Carpenter, LB's Barbecue. I go by LB, and I do my everyday life. I do appliance repair and commercial laundry, fix appliance machines basically in your house, and I take care of some laundromats I live in the DFW area, so I take care of their laundromats, their equipment, make sure it's all running up every day, stuff like that. And I live here in Euless, and I have 2 dogs and my wife, and that's it. We don't have any kids or anything, so I do a bunch of barbecue, cook for people. I don't do any catering or anything. I'd like to, but just do like barbecue for me and her and people around here and family and content, stuff like that. So
nice. I know. I saw somebody. You do the occasional pop up.
I do it's like I went this weekend. We went to Louisiana, and it's like a people's choice basically.
Okay.
This one was a little different. They actually had to tip you to taste your food. They had to give you $1 to taste your food. So
all right.
It was raising proceeds for Southern Outdoors, which is a nonprofit that does track chairs for disabled kids to go hunting and fishing and on the beach, stuff like that. So they raised a lot of money. They raised a lot of money this weekend. They raised over $24,000 for their first time to ever do it at that store. So I went just because I have my seasonings in that store to showcase it, stuff like that. And we also do other stuff like that, like competitions. There are people choices where people pay like $20 to get in. walk around, taste everybody's food, vote on that food. You know, you can cook whatever you want, stuff like that. So that's what I like to do, stuff like that. And then in here, here coming up, I'll start doing some demos for stores, stuff like that. So
Nice, nice. Now, obviously, being in Texas, you know, you guys grew up with barbecue. Like, unlike me being the old Yankee from Boston and New Hampshire. Growing up, a barbecue was hamburgers and hot dogs.
yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
know, until I got wised up. You know, and taught
Yeah.
properly. So how did your journey in barbecue start? As a young
Well,
kid, or did you get into it later?
I mean, my dad smoked briskets, when I was very young, and I'd watch him and help him out. He would actually, I remember he'd put a water pan. He had a Weber kettle. He'd do like a water pan, kind of like a snake method, but it wouldn't
Mhm.
be. It would be sloppy, Put a like a bowl. He put a bowl of water in there and the coals around it, And he would actually soak his wood chips and stuff like that. He'd use wood chips and stuff like that. So I grew up kind of doing that, and I grew up cooking. So I was taught very young to cook. Of course, you can look at me. I'm a big healthy guy. So
Yes,
I
sir.
like to eat. So if I didn't learn to cook, then I wouldn't have ate. So I taught myself, and then some lady that babysitted us, she would teach me some stuff, and then I decided, oh, let's go to culinary art school, and do that. And I didn't complete it, but I did learn, a lot from it. But I
Yeah.
already knew how to cook, so it was kind of frustrating in that school because a lot of people go there that don't know how to cook, but I already knew how to cook because I worked at restaurants, and I grew up in a restaurant, like not grew up in it, but 15,
Yeah.
16 years old, working, washing dishes, learning stuff. So I've always been around it. Just barbecue. I kind of came back to barbecue probably about 7, 8 years ago, like full,
Okay.
just doing it, buying Weber kettle or smoker. Can't remember what I bought. I know I buy used stuff all the time, If
Uh
I
huh.
didn't like it, I'd sell it back and buy another thing, something like that. So, or, find it
Yep.
on the side of the road, or even some lady gave me a smoker one time. I went to her house and she gave me a smoker because I fixed her refrigerator or something. And she's like, I don't use that no more. My husband used it, and he don't use it, so you can have it's like a little drum smoker, like one of those
Yeah.
Brickman drum smokers,
Yes,
with
sir.
the dome lid.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
and so I just would do all that, and then then I started making content probably 3 years ago, and just really getting into it, big time with stuff like that. So,
Good.
I like to cook briskets, and briskets are, cheap here in Texas. So, I'd always cook a brisket, film it, stuff like that. So,
Nice.
haven't hit that money video, but it'll happen one day, you know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So,
So the content creation, when you started that, did you have a definite um road you were going on, or a little of this,
no,
little of that,
no, I didn't even know it. I don't even know what
highlighting?
I'm doing. I still don't even know what I'm doing.
So
Like
it's a
I was
little
doing
bit.
TikTok. I was doing TikTok for a while, like real big, like doing lives and cooking on there and doing Wing Wednesdays, hosting them. Like I'd get the boxes full, 9 boxes, and going live on Sundays, cooking dinner and stuff like that. But social media can get to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It can get to your mental state if you don't watch out. If you get into it too big, and also, social media is a 40-hour-a-week job. If you're not putting 40 plus into it, you might not make it into it. You know what I'm saying? Unless you just
No,
have those
absolutely.
banging videos, that you're just banging out there, and you do it every day. You at least make one a day, and that's still a job, And with my job, it's physical, so I'm kind of lazy. So when I get home, I don't want to fire up that grill every day. So I
Mm-hmm.
kind of, I showcase some of my inside cooking a lot too, stuff like that. Because I can cook you anything. You ask me, maybe not sushi or you know Japanese or Korean food, but you ask me, I can always learn to cook it though. So that's just me. I like
No,
to learn to cook it.
absolutely. There's so much knowledge, and especially out there now. Like you were saying with the social media, it's a full-time job. I'm terrible at it. I'll be the first to admit it. I post here and there and everything, but I can't just. I'll get in a groove of a little bit of consistency, and then it always tapers off,
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's me
then
too. Right now, I'm that
yeah,
tapering off. I'm that tapering off right now.
yeah,
Yeah, because my views were good on a couple weeks ago, and now they're getting little sucky, and I'm just like, oh man, it's like, do I really want to put that much effort into it this week or what? And it can get to you, and that's what it does to you, and I'm sure there's just like you said, there's other people out there that do it too. You get really good at it, you do a month's worth of good content, and then you're like, oh, I'm tired. And plus,
yeah.
it's
No,
already over 100 degrees here in Texas, and breaking out them pits you're looking at 125 degrees. So.
yep, no, absolutely, and absolutely. Like you said, with the old 9 to 5 on top of it. By the time you get home, uh, catch up. Like you said, with your wife, you want to horse around with the dogs a little bit. Get something to eat, wind down a little bit, instead of next thing you know, sitting there on the phone and posting this, posting that, and all that stuff. I'll get into, like I said, I'll get into grooves here and there where I'll get a bunch of stuff done, and I'll somehow figure out how to schedule them, which
Yeah,
I never really knew until like a year ago that you could do that.
I didn't know
I'll
that until like
schedule
a month
stuff, and
ago.
yeah, it's crazy,
Yeah,
but it's like, and even on that, that's an hour or two to get each post right, make sure the spelling, the
yeah,
picture, the right picture, and description, any links, and you send that through, put that schedule. Okay, that's one. That's 15
yeah.
minutes gone. Okay, next post, and then, and by the end of it, it's like something. All right, that's enough for now. We're good. We're good. All right. Then it's like,
Uh oh. Uh oh. I don't know what happened to him, but he disappeared somehow. He was cutting off. Maybe he'll join in a minute. We'll see. Hello, Joe's Meat Market. If you're still in here, Steve Brown. Maybe he'll join in a minute. We'll see. Sorry, I can't see. I don't know how to do this. Joe's Meat Market. If you're still in here, Steve Brown. Maybe he'll join in a minute. We'll see. Sorry, I can't see. I don't know how to do this. Sorry. Sorry.
all right, I think I'm back, and Aaron's back. I think we're good
Can you hear me?
for a little while. I got you loud and clear, brother. Oh yeah, the like I said, storm is hitting, so the internet crapped out. I had a couple spoons earlier. Like, oh, hold on.
Probably still messed up.
Yeah. All right. So we're back. You got me, Aaron? What? We're back. You got me, Aaron?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't know. I can't hear you.
Huh. Everything looks good here. Let me try this for a second.
Hello?
There we go. You got me?
Yeah, I can't hear you on this one. I'm right here. No, I'm on this right here. I can hear you on this, but I can't hear you on the actual internet.
I'm going to send you a message, brother.
Okay.
No, I don't think so, Tom. Yeah, we're gonna have jump in. That hopefully that will reset everything. And then we can get into his products and everything. Incredible stuff.
Can you hear me?
All right, I can hear you.
Yes,
Did that reset me?
Yep.
All right.
I got you back.
All right. Yeah, I hear the rain coming on the back. Like, oh, it is coming down. But
Yeah.
but no, where were we? Yeah, the social media. After a while, you're trying to keep up with it and keep up with it. And you nailed it. It's a 40-hour job on top of everything else. Because that's what the people are always, thirsting for content, as they say. And you gotta, and then you gotta try to stay relevant with it, and try to get the right thing out there at the right time. And some people figure it out. I'm still not. I don't. I still don't think I even opened the front cover of the book.
Yeah, me too. I mean, my videos aren't the best videos. Everybody tries to teach me like, "Hey, do this angle, do this angle." I'm like, "What's that angle? What's that angle?" I'm like, try to zoom in better. I'm like, okay, and it's still, I don't have good lighting anyways in my house, and I do my best. So, there's some that get up there, but not many. My brisket videos always do good. Sometimes, like slicing them. I don't know, some reason they like them sliced briskets.
That's it. Tim Rogers, Up to Barbecue. What's happening, brother? Big Papa T.
What's up, Big Papa T?
Thanks for tuning in. Uncle Steve, what's up? I got word for you, Starlink. No, believe me, Steve. Believe me. I'm trying. But so with doing the barbecue on yourself and the people's choice, things like that, the content creation, what led you down the product line?
So I first on TikTok, I'm gonna tell you right now, on TikTok there's a guy named Burn Fire Starters. That's where the fire starters come from. He's a funny guy. If you ever get on TikTok, you should check him out. He used to make very funny videos. Are you there? Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
So I got in good with him, and he franchised out his fire starters. So I just bought into it, and they're all natural. They're an all natural fire starter. And they have no chemicals. No chemical smell. Here's the individual bag right here. Sorry.
Yep.
So he does he started it, probably I think 3 or 4 years ago, and he made bigger bags. that burn for 15 minutes. So, I mean, for 30 minutes. They're twice these size, and that's what he started off as. And then he got into the barbecue community on TikTok and started making these littler bags. So, and then I kind of hounded him that I wanted my own bags because he does bags for another barbecue guy. And I just wanted them, because I like the product. That's what I use. I would buy them from him all the time, stuff like that. So we just got to talking and everything. So I bought into it, gave him, whatever he wanted. And he let me, purchase the product, stuff like that. And I actually, me and him, he taught me how to do the actual work on it. So it's all handmade by me and my wife and him. He makes them too,
Okay.
stuff like that. So they're all handmade, all natural, 100%, no chemical smell. And these burn for 15 minutes at a time, 100%.
Yep.
It'll get your charcoal chimney lit in probably about 10 minutes, maybe even sooner if it depends on how heavy I went with the wax on there, because that's all it's like a wax and some other, you can open it up, it's pellets, stuff like that. But they're all natural, So, and I've even got videos on my TikTok about with the tumbleweed. I use 3 different tumbleweeds for what this one burned. And I'm going to do another video here soon with a clock, that way people can see actual 15 minutes, but I'll speed it up, stuff like that. So I've only had these fire starters for probably about, what's this, June? I've had them for about probably 9-10 months now. And they like I said, they are a premium product, so they are hard to sell. So they're a little expensive, they're on the expensive side, but I do sell them a little bit. I have, Joe's Meat Market, in Roy City. I've got Fire Grove Design in Gun Barrel City, Taurus Meat House in Waco. They got them there. They do slow move, but you find them barbecue guys that will buy them from you, stuff like that. So and then the seasoning just kind of came out of the blue. I just
Well, before we hit the seasoning, I do have a question on the starters.
Yes,
I've been using the starters and they've been fantastic. Like you said, no time at all, that chimney is glowing and lit. But the one thing I found interesting is on the front label, this just happens to be the small 2-piece bag. Light bottom of the bag. So that's what I did because that's what the bag told me to do. Is there a reason to start from the bottom? Just that the flame works itself up naturally, or
so if you fill the bag, if you take one out and you fill it, you'll feel the stuff. I put the wax at the bottom. The wax goes at the bottom of the bag. So you want to light the wax. So this is basically like a candle. This is all this is. It's basically like a candle, kind of. It's just a bag. But there's been years of research into this. It's not like you can just go and buy the product and think you can make it for 15 minutes. Eventually you'll get yourself there. But, this has been years and years of research that he's done. He's used to own a candle company. So that's how he kind of came up with this idea. So, so all it is a wax down there, and then we fill it with pellets. But the bag is what is the wax is the accelerator, and the pellets are what keeps it burning for the long time. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and then the bag is what lights. So basically, it's like a candle. You got your wick, you got your wax. You don't have like a long longevity in there because it's full of wax, but that's a slow burning wax, stuff like that. So. That's why it says light the bottom end of the bag. So if you light the top end of the bag, it won't work. So there's been many videos with the top end lit, stuff like that. Now, if you light it with the torch, of course, you're going to light the whole bag. So
the whole thing on,
So, that's what I do sometimes, stuff like that. So, but that's why it says light the bottom end of the bag.
Okay. Like I said, I wasn't sure. I like my fire starters and I like to get everything. The last thing I'm going to do is start tearing one apart. It's like,
It's not an easy process. Trust me. It's tied. It's very tedious work, and it's to where you don't sell many, so you try to do a lot at one time, so you have them
Yeah.
all, and you don't have to do them for a couple months or so. That's how tedious the work is. So it's
Yeah.
not like
I
it's
hear you.
20-minute job to make 100 of them. It's like a 3 or 4 hour job, stuff like that. So it has,
Yeah.
and actually it's a couple day process because the stamp has to dry, all kinds of stuff. So I don't want to give the secrets out.
That's all right. We can move on. All right. Let's see. Forgive me if I mispronounce this, but Minans Meat Barbecue and Catering. What's happening?
You actually got it right. That's good.
All
What's
right.
up?
All
What's
right.
up, Frank the Tank? That's my buddy Frank. So
Nice. Nice. Now, the seasonings.
yes, sir.
Let's see. Let's start with the savory shake.
Okay.
I was very impressed with this. The flavor is fantastic. So you have it's a salt, pepper, garlic, but you got that jalapeno in there.
Yes, and very rich
Yes, sir.
and very rich in butter.
Yeah,
So
yeah, but fantastic. But so how the how so we like I said we got the LB's savory shake
yes,
and
sir.
also the triple B rub Bubba's beefy bold, which
Yes,
is
sir.
also fantastic. So how did these come down the line? How long you been working on them?
I
And
mean, I gotta be honest, I've only really been working on them for like 3 months. I,
wow, okay,
yeah, I went with Big Rome to where were we? Meat Church. He was at Meat Church, and I met
yeah,
Mr. Preston Atkins, and we just kind of hit it off. And we met up. He wanted some fire starters. I went to his office and stuff like that. And I've always wanted some seasonings, but I'm like, I don't want to. Everybody really has that stuff. It's stuff like that. So I just went to his office and we just got to talking. He gave me some of his stuff, stuff like that. And I just went home and I was like, man, I can, I want to come up with something. So I just the savory shake is just basically just like a salt, pepper, garlic, like you said, but it's kind of heavy on the garlic, and they're both actually very low sodium. It might be
yeah,
the first ingredient on in there, but it's just because that's what there is more grams of the salt than there is anything of the other ingredients because there's so many other ingredients in there. So, but they are very low sodium. So, in the savory shake is just a spin off of just a buttery garlic jalapeno type rub, you know. And then the other one is just a salt, pepper, garlic, and but a heavy, heavy pepper, you know,
yeah,
and just a beefy, beefy bold. And the name is actually very special to me because it's actually we had a dog that was named Bubba. That's why I named it Triple B. And he just recently passed away like 4 months ago.
oh,
So we
sorry,
we only
brother.
had him for about 5 years. So it was like, he was only 5 years old. He came up with lymphoma, stuff like that. So we wanted to honor him, And actually, anybody that's listening and they buy on my website or they buy from me, a dollar actually goes to a doodle rescue. We haven't found the right one yet. We're still working on it because they're still new. They're only like a month and a half
Yeah,
old. So we're still working on who we're going to give the proceeds to, but we do have money set aside already for it. We got over $100 already to go to when we do decide who we're going to go with. So anybody that buys from me a dollar does go to a doodle rescue,
hmm,
because we love poodles and doodles. And we have another Maltese. She's pretty old, she's about 15. So
oh
so
wow,
we so that's the story about those, and they just came about. They just my flavor. They're like what I like.
yeah,
We in my family, me and my wife, we eat a lot of beef. We probably eat beef 5 times a week if we can. And steak is probably 2 times a week if we can find good steaks, or good, cheap steaks, stuff
yeah,
like that. So the beefy bold was kind of just something that I like. And, it's always salt, pepper, garlic on a steak, or, it's got a little paprika in there. And, and onion, of course, stuff like that. It's just a beef, plain old beef, but just heavy pepper, and that's what I like. I like pepper in the salt. I don't like salt, so that's why I made them low sodium, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I
Okay.
said, the savory shake is just a spin off of what I like. I like a little spice, but I can't do a lot of spice. I am Texan, but I can't do a lot of spice. It's just my stomach can't handle it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So I like jalapeno, and if you actually taste it just on your hand, you'll get that jalapeno at the end, and it's very
Yeah.
light. It's not
It is.
very much. And then the butter is just because I like butter. Of course, I'm a big guy. And then this it's just a base of salt, pepper, garlic, like you said.
Yeah.
So
Nice. No, they're both very nice. I like them both. I've been playing around with it yesterday when we got home last night. Did a whole batch, did a bunch of chicken wings up.
yeah.
Split them up between the two of them just to get the flavor profile.
Oh yeah, that's
Affiliated for tonight, and like you said, the pepper is definitely there, which I also love. And I absolutely love the low sodium on it because there's some that the salt just blasts you in the
yeah,
palate, and
yeah.
at that point you don't get the rest of it. You're fighting off that salt to try
Hmm.
to get the rest of what the rub and seasoning is supposed to be. You with you, like you said, low sodium, you get just enough to know it's there, but more peppery to buttery and that jalapeno flavor at the on the back end there. And the beef was fantastic. So,
Yeah, that's a good. If you do a beef, if you do like a steak, you should season it with the beef one, and then when you're finished cooking it, and before you put like a butter on it, shake that savory shake on there, and then put the butter on there and let it rest, or
yep,
even season both of them. I did a whole brisket with them both, and
yep.
they're a good combo. It's a good combo, like 1-2 punch kind of. So.
Nope.
That's what I wanted at first, and I'm actually in the works of making more. It's just I wanted to get these out first and let them do good, you
Hmm.
know, and then bring more out. I didn't want to bring a bunch out at one time and not be able to market them, stuff like that. So
No,
I
absolutely.
got six. I think I got 6 stores still or now with my seasoning, and I've only, like I said, only been like a month and a half.
Okay.
So
That's great.
you know,
That's great. And then on the bottle, I love it. I love it. We're gaining. We're. I can't even talk tonight. We're gaining pounds. Never tasted so good. Oh, I love it. I
yeah, that's my
love it.
That's my slogan. That's not the one on the bottle, the LBs. That's just a different logo I did for the bot for these for the seasonings. But if you
Yeah.
actually see my logo in the background or you look at my sticker, it's actually a scale if you look
Yeah.
at it. And then that's where I got the LBs. LBs means pounds, stuff like that. So that's why I got the saying never tastes we're gaining pounds, never tasted so good. So
No,
um
absolutely, absolutely. But no, like I said, the both seasonings are excellent. The fire starters, like you said, I was running those since I got them, and we were in it in a competition we had a couple weeks back in New Hampshire, pouring rain, pouring rain,
yeah.
and we all know how that goes. And what you
I just
got
went to
this
one.
going, and
Yeah.
it stayed lit. The winds
They
coming in, rain sideways, the whole nine. Once they're lit, they stayed lit. The chimney went up, and I was good to go.
yeah, they are water
So
they
it's
are
the
water
quality.
resist they are water resistant. I'm not going to say they're 100% waterproof, but they are water resistant. Of course, they'll withstand rain, but gushing water underneath them,
Yeah.
of course, is going to like any fire is going to go out on that.
No,
But
yeah.
so yeah, they are water resistant. So they are up to I couldn't tell you how much water, but I should do a test on that too with rain, but I've never done it, so that's a good idea. Thank you for that. So
Well, it was
I try to help him
downpour.
too. The guy that
Yeah.
invented them. I'm trying to help him get them out there better too. So I help and so do different tests and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but they, like I said, as far as the downpour rain, it worked. It worked. It fired it up and had the pit rolling. No problem whatsoever.
Yeah,
Um,
so.
Daddy Dutch is asking, did Matt Pittman help come up with some of the seasoning names?
With my seasoning names?
Yeah.
No, Matt Pittman did not. I wish. I wish I knew Matt Pittman. I really do. I'm
No.
trying. I'm actually trying to. One day, I've been talking to the main guy there, trying to get the seasonings and the fire starters in the store. So, man, I wish I knew that guy.
Right. Right. No,
I know.
absolutely. Oh, but yeah, like I said, the fire starters are great. The seasonings are fantastic. Love them both. Can't wait to try it on the different ones. Like I said, we just got home last night, whipped up some
Yeah, I
wings,
know you just. I'm
and
sorry. That was my fault for
oh
forgetting to.
no, brother.
I'm a forgetful guy, so I forget to send them, and then the last minute, stuff like that.
Oh
So
no, that's fine. That's fine because whenever I do get new season, that's the first thing I do is chicken wings.
that's what I
You
do
know,
too. Chicken wings.
because
It's got to hold up on chicken wings.
yeah,
But
if it works
I
like
do a lot of chicken wings, and I won first place for a chicken wing competition one time for a garlic parmesan that I come up with. So
nice. Now
yeah.
going back to the your joy with the people's choices. What are do you kind of run the same thing on a regular basis, or are you constantly flipping
Mm,
it up?
well, this time I ran chicken wings. A couple times I ran empanadas, brisket
Oh,
empanadas. We made the dough and everything, but that's a lot of work.
yeah.
And the first time that I made the empanadas, I might have came in maybe second on People's Choice, or maybe even won, because we were in South Louisiana. Nobody really heard of empanadas, and they were
Hmm.
loving them, stuff like that. But I ran out, only made like 175. I should have made like 300, you
Yeah.
know. So, and then the second time I did make over too many, and I only gave away like 175, So it's kind of hit or miss sometimes. So,
Yeah.
this time I did chicken wings. And then I'll do a demo here with Torres Meat House. I'm gonna do fajitas.
Okay.
So just to showcase the seasoning, both seasonings. Chicken wings, I can really, yeah, the beefy bold is good on them. It's just it's not made for that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It is very good on them, but it's just, I mean, I eat beefy bold on my breakfast almost every morning that I make. So, it's good on eggs. It's good on anything really. It's just, it's not the best on chicken wings. So it's once you put the sauce on there. So I do just a savory shake, and then I make a garlic parmesan sauce for them. But yeah, I'm trying to do like different stuff just
Okay.
to showcase different things. There is people out there that do the same thing every time, but that's just how they are. That's just what they do. And that's
Oh yeah.
easy. But I try to showcase different and just me. I shouldn't. I guess I should focus on one thing like chicken wings or something. But um, you know, it is what it is. Whatever I feel like cooking.
No, okay, whatever you feel like cooking. No, I
Yeah.
completely understand that. Now, do you kind of depend on where you're going? Like you said, you were down, when you did the empanadas, you were down in Louisiana. Does
Yeah.
that come into your thought process of maybe working some local flavors, or kind of giving them
Well,
something that's not local, so
yeah,
it's
not local.
kind of stands out a little bit?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I tried to do that this time in Louisiana. I made guacamole with both of the seasonings and chicken wings, but the guacamole didn't do good. I guess a lot of people really don't like guacamole, but I was trying to do something that I could focus on both of them. But
Yeah.
yeah, I try to bring just Texas flavors. Especially if I'm out of town. Just bring something from Texas. Just try to showcase that's where we're from.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been born and raised in Texas, proud, so us Texans, we're proud to be Texans. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, absolutely, absolutely. No, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's a great story. And like I said, the
and
great products, brother.
and I actually want to hold a
And
People's Choice here. I want to do a People's Choice here in Texas. Maybe in the next year or so, I want to host it, stuff like that. It's a good thing for the public, if you can market it and get sponsors to help you out and stuff like that, and market it good. And
mhm.
I wanted to try to maybe do it at a later time, make it like a date night type People's Choice where you bring your wife and you come and
Interesting.
try like different food, from 20 or 30 different people. So stuff like that.
Yeah,
You might not hit all 20 or 30 of them because some people give full tacos. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Some people give full burgers or a whole bowl of jambalaya or whatever they pasta or something like that. So these people might eat that whole bowl because that's their first booth, and then they're like, oh, I'm full. So it is a hard, they are hard,
Yeah.
but you just gotta you gotta market yourself at them. You gotta make sure that in the area. Of course, I went to Louisiana, nobody knew who I was. So, I just went there because the store that I did it at, it was at a store. They showcased my seasoning. They have my seasoning there. So, I wanted to show people that I was there, give them, my flavors, stuff like that. So,
Hmm.
but the one here I want to hold just like I said, it's kind of like a date night, People's Choice.
Oh,
So,
that's interesting. I like that idea.
yeah, he's like
I
from six
like
to
that
eight. You
idea.
just come and taste
Yeah.
all the food, and bring your wife for a little night, or even you could bring the kids too. Stuff like that. It's just that's how I want to promote the stuff like that.
No, interesting. I like that avenue you're thinking. No, it's different.
Yeah, different.
Date night, family friendly kind of thing. No, I absolutely, absolutely. No, that's fantastic. I like that idea a lot, Aaron. Oh, but so the social media content, everything, YouTube, TikTok, all the
Um,
kind of regular platforms,
I
or
don't do YouTube or Instagram. I
okay,
just do Facebook and TikTok, and you
okay,
can find me at LB's Barbecue and More. Um, on both of them. I do have an Instagram, but I don't ever get on there. People do send me
on there.
videos and stuff like that, but um, I I tried to link my Facebook and Instagram together, but it never worked. So I don't know if I hit the wrong button or what, but like I said, I'm not the best at social media and stuff like that. I actually been using a lot of Chat GTP, so
Hmm.
it's helped me out a lot, as a small business and as somebody that doesn't really know how to like come up with words to say, stuff like that. So, it helps a lot of small businesses out these days. I know some people hate AI, stuff like that. Like get a lot of hate and you get a lot of okay, stuff like
Oh,
that.
oh
So
yeah, it's always hit or miss, hot and cold. You're gonna have the haters, you're gonna have the supporters. It's just like anything else. And
oh yeah.
yes, now because it's I call it a newer form. It's been out a bit.
Yeah.
They keep upgrading quickly. I think that's the most confusing part of it because this AI is already obsolete because that
Yeah.
same AI is on its fifth version and it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, I hear what you're
Oh,
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, 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 yeah.
by the time you figure out how to use the first one, they're already 8 ahead of it, and it's like, oh my god, it's like I can't do it.
Yes, sir.
I'm
Yes,
lucky I can
sir.
turn it on. Look at I got just because it rains, my internet craps out on me.
I hear you.
It's like, come on. Yeah, I'm gonna play
Yes,
with
sir.
AI. Yeah, very very little bursts with the AI with me right now.
Yeah.
But no, I'm trying. I'm playing. I'm trying to learn the whole thing, and like I said, still trying to get those that that one video, the one little clip that skyrockets, and
Me too.
but
Me too, buddy. Yeah, I try
it
to.
is.
If I get 1,000 views on TikTok, I'm like, yeah, that's about,
Yeah,
I got one brisket video that I think's like 30,000 views. And
yeah.
that's it though. That's all I have. I don't have nothing else, that's anything big. So I'm sorry, that's my snake method, 69,000 views. That's it,
Okay,
and then the rest are nothing, so a couple hundred here and there, so. And then
that's cool.
Facebook's just hard, Facebook's hard to get views, and it's
Yeah,
not hard to get views. It's hard to get friends and interactions and, stuff like that. There might be 1,000 people that see that video, but you only get 2 likes, stuff like
yeah,
that. So, TikTok's kind of easier. The views are a little
sure.
bit harder, but the interactions a little bit with your community, and
Yep.
I usually gain at least 3 or 4 friends a day on TikTok doing nothing, So, and some of them might even be bots. Who knows? Half of them might be, but hey, it's
Hey,
followers, So
it's followers. It's a view somehow along the way. That's what counts at the end of it.
yes,
But
sir.
but brother, thank you so much for taking the time to join me to talk about these great products. Like I said, guys, check out the savory shake and the triple B Bubba's Beefy Bold. And like I said, don't
Yep.
sleep on
You
these fire starters.
Yeah.
These
You
are
can
New
find
Hampshire weather approved.
and you can find all my products at lbsfirestarters.com. You can
Okay.
I ship in the USA. I tried to ship to Canada the other day, but that's kind of hard, so I think I'm going to stay away from that. There's too much tariffs on that, but yeah, I ship all
Yes,
50
sir.
states. So just lbsfirestarters.com, and like I said, all platform, or not all platforms, but Facebook, TikTok, LB's Barbecue, and more.
All right, man. Go, guys and girls. Go check Aaron out. Throw a little support. Like I said, grab some of the fire starters. Grab some of those seasonings. You're gonna love them. And yeah, I can't wait to play with them some more on different proteins, brother. Right now,
Yes,
like I
sir.
said, I think they're fantastic. So congratulations on those. And like I said, I know what these can do. So
Yes, sir. Yes,
check
sir.
them out too. But brother,
Thank
thank
you.
you for taking the time, man. And
You're welcome.
I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing what you to keep in touch and what else you got coming on down the line, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, and I enjoyed it. And like I always say, peace, love, and chicken grease.
Absolutely, brother. Awesome,
Peace
Aaron.
out.
Thank you, brother.
Peace out, buddy.
Oh, guys, that was Aaron Carpenter of LB's Barbecue and more. Like I said, check them out. The seasonings were very flavorful, but like I said, the fire starters, they are dead on. Like I said, barbecue contests, every minute counts. And I literally had the full chimney going within like 10 minutes with one of the bags. And they haven't failed me yet. So I'm still going to be rolling with those. It's nice. But let's see. I think I had a couple other things, a couple shout out things going on. I was talking to a dear friend of mine, Mr. Alan Fonte of Magna Chef, who makes my gloves, my aprons, and everything, the cutting boards. New venture, folks, for some of our fellow chili heads. Which shoulder am I under? There you go, right behind me there. Little hot sauce action coming out. Let me see if I still have the quick picture of the packaging. Well, yeah, he's getting into the hot sauce. Right now, there's one. It's a bit on the mild side, but it is absolutely delicious. Jesus, how many pictures I got here? Come on, where is it? The line is going to be called the Hot Garbage Gang. So a little play off of any of us 80s children It's going to be based on a certain kind of card that was out back in the 80s that the kids, 80s, early 90s, that the kids we used to collect. And so he's got the hot sauce coming out. He's got another, so that's a mild one. Then he's going to come out with one that blows your head off. And then he's going to work kind of in the middle on either side of that. And yeah, Daddy Dutchie's tried it. The mango habanero, absolutely flavorful, fantastic. But we're going to be talking to Al soon. Working on a couple dates. There's a new book. I'll give you a quick glimpse of it. Okay, get ready. A children's barbecue book, The Grill That Couldn't Glow, by BKYD Supply Company. Very interesting, very fun book. Anyone with the little ones just getting into it, or grandbabies, a perfect little children's book. A couple lessons to be learned in there as a young person, young child. But we'll be getting into that. Also going to be coming down the line, Mr. Freddie Bell of Barbecue Radio Network. I was lucky enough to join him the other week for an interview. And we're going to get Freddie on and talk about his history, with radio in general. Because if anybody has listened to Barbecue Radio Network since Freddie's taken over, Freddie definitely has the radio and TV voice. So there's got to be a story on the background there. So that'll be coming down the line. Not quite sure what I got going on for next week, but I'll be coming up with something. But like I said, thank you all for understanding last week with JJ's birthday. So a quick shout out. Happy birthday. Happy 16th birthday, my man JJ. Proud of you, buddy. Then on Friday, had me and Mrs. Mag's 18th anniversary of 18 years of dealing with me legally. 30 years altogether. So God bless her. And, we got married 18 years ago up at Bike Week in Laconia, New Hampshire. So the 18th anniversary, we're going to Bike Week. Broke the bike out, and we wound up there for 3 days in a row. So we put some miles in, got some riding in, nice. But while we were up there, if anybody hasn't noticed, we moved I don't need the headphones. Moved the headphones. The hat. Look at that. Even the detail on that. So a shout out to Full Throttle Hat Bar. They can also be found at fullthrottlehatbar.com and Full Throttle Hat Bar, Facebook, Instagram, all that. My man Dean, they're out of Georgia, and whipped it up right on the spot while I was there. Showed them the logo. Mrs. Maggs was getting a hat done, so I was sitting there and I was talking to Dean, and I saw that they do the leather patches. So we got talking about that. He goes, "Oh yeah." I go, my logo is a little weird because of a lot of places it becomes basically a giant black blob with a smoker on it. He goes, "No." He goes, "Let me see it." Showed it to him. Emailed it to him. He goes, "Give me like 10 or 15 minutes. Let me play with it." And about 15 minutes later, shouts out. He goes, "Hey, come here." So he goes, "What do you think?" He shows me the computer. Absolutely fantastic. I go, "Yeah, that's it. You got the color out." He goes, "No, this is what it's going to actually look like on the leather." And like I said, the little details of the handle, the thermometer, the whole nine, temperature gauge, beautiful. Picked out the hat, and he hit it through the laser, and here we go. So like I said, give them a follow, Full Throttle Hat Bar. They got a lot of crazy cool things and a lot of, like I said, be able to do a lot of custom stuff. Show guys with logos and everything, and very reasonably priced. So check them out. What else do I got going on? I will be in Vermont this weekend with Matt Pereira of Mass Backyard Barbecue and 16 Mesh, doing a little catering gig. Unfortunately, the competition up there had to be canceled. Just lack of teams, unfortunately. But we're still going to go up and hang out up there on Saturday. The folks up at the winery had got a couple bands coming in and advertising, the barbecue. So we're going to go up there and have a bit of a catering event this weekend. So if anyone's in the Rockingham, Vermont area, swing on by to Vineyard Vines, and we'll be slinging it. But like I said, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you. Catch the video, Facebook, YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell. You got everything, all episodes right at your fingertips. Audio, wherever audio podcasts are found, I'm there. Questions and comments, please send them to pitlifebbqpodcast@gmail.com. Like always, subscribe, like, rate, and review. Hit that share button. And until next week, keep the smoke rolling.